Hey everybody, this is Loli Jane, animal communicator and energy healer from animals-speak.com, and you're listening to Loli Jane Animal Communication Podcast, the show that promises to open your mind and heart to the amazing world of animal communication, energy healing, and what I like to call interspecies therapy. Thanks for joining me. In today's episode, I'll be honoring World Pet Memorial Day, which is today. So I'll be talking about walk-ins or animals switching souls. This is going to be an eye-opening episode, and I hope you enjoy the show. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a certified international professional animal communicator and pranic energy healer. I offer remote and in-person animal communication, whether they are alive or in spirit. I also offer pranic healing for trauma, injuries, pain, illness, disease, and behavioral and emotional issues for both humans and animals. For humans, I can provide spiritual guidance by channeling your angels and guides, or even do a past life regression. And if you've ever wanted to become an animal communicator, I teach animal communicator training workshops and provide one-on-one mentoring. Check out my website for workshop schedules at animals-speak.com or mindbodyspiritworkshops.com. What is a walk-in? A walk-in is when one soul currently incarnated in a physical body wants to leave and go back to spirit, and another soul wishes to come in. They will do a soul swap. This happens more than you realize with both humans and animals. Let's explore this more deeply, especially regarding animals. The most important concept to understand here is that the soul and the body are completely separate. You and your animal are the soul, not the body. The soul is an eternal part of you or your animal that never dies. The body is just a vessel or a vehicle to house the soul and to be incarnated into the physical earth plane. The body houses intact memories, much like a hard drive of a computer. The body does come with its own personality traits based on the species of the animal and their physical abilities. However, the soul is the one with the majority of the personality. The soul is the one in charge of the body, and the soul is the one that chooses the service and lessons of each and every incarnation. Once you understand this concept, you will have a better grasp of how death is not the end and only a transition in and out of the physical body. And animals know this. They know that they can pop in and out much easier than we ever knew. So for them, it's not that big of a deal. It's something that they do on a regular basis. So why would this happen? Walk-ins are an efficient means of bringing an incarnated soul in quickly. The body is already alive and functioning, and simply put, there is a shortage of bodies. Instead of having to go through a lengthy gestation process, birth process, and also seeking out a mother to be born as an infant, and then they have to grow into maturity, this is a way for a soul to shortcut the whole process so they can bring service, help with lessons, and work out soul karma with their soul family. Instead of a body dying or being euthanized, the body remains alive and intact, and when one soul leaves, while a different one comes in, it's like a recycling of the bodies. So why would a soul want to leave? There's many reasons. Maybe the soul is tired and maybe they have done their soul purpose in this incarnation. They have completed all the service or lessons they came to do and are ready for their next adventure. Maybe they are sick and tired of feeling this way, of being sick or having a disease or illness, and so they ask another soul to replace them and carry on their sick body. And after the walk-in process, the illness or disease may even improve or change. Sometimes their choice to leave may be a very unselfish one, because the incoming soul may also be your soul family and want time with you during this incarnation with you. Maybe you can only have one animal, and sometimes they are taking turns and tag teaming with each other. In this case, they are acting selflessly to allow the other animals some time with you. And maybe your time on Earth is short, and both animals' souls know this, so want to have shared time with you. If an animal had to endure much trauma or abuse in this lifetime, they may want to leave their body to be free of the abuse, pain, and trauma. And another soul has already agreed to swap and step in to an abusive life, and that is love. Maybe your sole purpose in this lifetime is to overcome trauma and abuse, and your beloved soul animals have agreed to tag team, like I said, and to come into this incarnation to help you with your lessons. The reasons for wanting to leave their body may go very deep, or maybe they have loved and enjoyed every moment of their lifetime with you, but just want to go back to spirit, just to be. So before a walk-in can take place, both souls must agree. A walk-in does not happen randomly. It is well planned and executed. Both souls must agree to do the swap. An incoming soul cannot come into a body without an existing soul agreeing. This would be a possession, what we call a possession. The existing soul has to get permission, and also the existing soul wants to leave, and the incoming soul wants to come into a body. So they make a mutual agreement for this to happen. So how does the walk-in or soul swap take place? With humans, it usually happens during an accident, during surgery where the patient is under anesthesia, in a coma, or it can even happen during the sleep. Many times when a human has an NDE, which is a near-death experience, and then comes back with a different personality, a walk-in has taken place. This happened with my father. My father had brain surgery, and the person who woke up from the surgery was unrecognizable to me, with a completely different personality, different taste, different preferences, and even years later, after healing and therapies that he did, I did not have a bond or a connection with this person following that surgery. With animals, usually the animal will run away to do the soul swap or the walk-in. The animal may run away and hide and not want to be found because they know that this is going to take place since they have agreed to it. And if the human or animal caretakers intervene during this process, the whole operation may be disrupted. So for sick animals wanting to do a soul swap, they will run away sometimes because they do not want to be euthanized. If you euthanize the body, you can't do a walk-in or a soul swap, obviously. Animals may also do walk-ins during accidents or surgery, but it's less likely since animals cannot control the timing of surgeries and the scheduling, and their humans are pretty much in charge of everything taking place. They really can't control the circumstances very well. So animals may not willingly and willfully get injured on purpose, since they may harm or kill the existing body, or the pet parent or animal caretaker may choose to euthanize the animal following the accident, ruling out all possibilities of a walk-in. So how do you know if your animal has left their body or is a walk-in? For animals that have run away, they may return after some time. You may think they have returned from being lost, but what you will discover over the coming weeks and months is a personality change. Remember, the body will retain memories based on the mind, which is a hard drive of data, and the body will have some similar personality traits based on the species of the animal, but you will also see a lot of new ones. You will wonder why my animal is wanting to eat different foods, or they will turn away from their favorite foods and treats, instead choose different food or treats that they may not have even liked before. And if you pay close attention, you will notice your animal preferring different activities or toys that they previously did not prefer. Or they will show you little or no interest in things that they used to enjoy. These are all classic signs of a walk-in situation. Does my animal not love me if they choose to leave? That is a big question that clients have. Absolutely not. That your animal loves you unconditionally, no matter what. And as you can see from their pure, unconditional love for you, they come into many lifetimes with you to help you with your lessons and to be of service for you and with you. Sometimes they love you so much, they choose this method of leaving to soften the blow. If you still have your animal's physical body, you do not need to go through the agony and grief of pet loss, even though the existing soul of your animal has left. And this is an act of pure love. Sometimes animals must leave to help you have a spiritual awakening. I will never forget when a client animal I was working with told me that when you are the most devastated and broken in your life, and your life is like shattered, broken glass, that is when the light can come in. I have had multiple lost animal cases. I work on lost animals, and not a lot of animal communicators choose to do this because it's really difficult work. Because we have to present our clients with all scenarios, including they may never come home, including they have passed, including they may be walk-ins, so on and so forth. And also, if they're not, getting details of bringing them home. But since today's episode is on walk-ins, I want to give you a little scenario of multiple lost animal cases that I've had where the animal did a soul swap or a walk-in. So I've had cases where these animals ran away and they refused to be found. They refused to give me any details of their whereabouts. Normally I collect details based on the conversation of all of their whereabouts, what's around them, what they see around them, if they want to come home, if they can come home on their own, if they choose to share details. Normally they share details, but if they don't want to be found, they don't want to be found. And I have had many cases where they're not giving any information because they refuse to be found. They are hiding out very good away from their humans because something big is going to take place. And so because they were about to transition out of their body and to do a soul swap that, like I mentioned, was pre-planned before they ran away, then what happens is they do the swap. It takes place. The animal may be in a sleeping or meditative state. And after a few days, they come back to their person as if nothing happened. This happens a lot with cats, too. Cats run away and do a soul swap all the time. So it happens with dogs and horses and other animals, but especially with cats. And after a few days, they'll come back to their person as if nothing happened. They wander up, their body's still physically alive. But the change that takes place is what the clients will discover over time is several changes in the animal's personality, their preferences, including I've had some reports that animals act more like another animal that they had earlier in their life. In other words, the soul, the incoming soul that's coming in is another soul in the soul family of animals and beings that choose to incarnate again in this lifetime with you. And so it might be an animal from your past, not from a past life, from this lifetime, from your childhood. So you may know both souls, but I've had some reports from clients that tell me that when their animal came back, they started oddly acting like an animal that had passed before and giving me all these specific details. When I go to talk to that animal, sure enough, that's what it is. That was the incoming soul. So not always the case, but sometimes. So you have to pay close attention. If you have a case, especially if you talk to me, another animal communicator, where they tell you this difficult, horrible thing that your animal's passed and not coming back, they may or may not tell me that they're doing a walk-in situation. They may just say, I'm transitioning out of my body. So when an animal communicator tells you that, please pay attention. Don't refuse the information. I know it's difficult to hear. It's horrible to hear. But, we speak the truth, and you will notice, just pay close attention when they come back of their personality traits. So if it's not the case of another soul animal, it might be a different soul that maybe you knew from a past lifetime, which is just a dimensional jump. You may not know them from like this incarnation, but they've been with you before, so they are family. So some clients do not wish to accept this as a reality and really want exact details of the animal's whereabouts. But if they're going through this, they're not going to give me the whereabouts. They do not want to be found. So please, please, these can be very difficult cases because the clients want information and may refuse to accept the information and to accept what the animal has clearly told me. Believe me, I check multiple ways. I check 5 different ways. So please honor your animal. And of course, not all lost animal cases are about a soul swap or walk-in. But if it is, please, please honor and respect what your animal has shared with me and your animal's choice to do this, soul swap and walk-in. Know that they are divinely connected. They are intelligent beings. They are independent souls, which cannot be controlled. And they have blessed your life with the gift of who they are, and now they are ready to go back to spirit. If your animal has run away and cannot be found, I can ask the animal what is going on. A walk-in might be one of the possibilities. And if you suspect that your animal may be a walk-in or see a distinct personality change, even one of a previous animal, I can talk to the soul of both animals. It'll be separate sessions because I can only talk to one animal at a time. But if you choose, I can talk to one or both of the animals, the one in the body and the one in spirit, to find out if there was, in fact, a soul swap or a walk-in. You can find me at animals-speak.com or mindbodyspiritworkshops.com. I offer animal communicator training workshops to learn how to telepathically communicate with animals also. That brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed this profound show on walk-ins and animal switching souls as much as I love doing it. Be sure to subscribe for more amazing episodes. Book your animal communication session now and check out my upcoming workshops and classes. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, as well as opening your mind, heart, and spirit to your deep connection with your soul-beloved animals. For more information, please visit my website at animals-speak.com or Loli Jane animalcommunication.com or mindbodyspiritworkshops.com. And please subscribe to my monthly newsletter for invites or classes, workshops, events, and the latest podcast. Join us next week for episode 23, Meet the Elite, for a short interview with myself about animal communication and being an animal communicator. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe, like, and rate us. And as always, love and gratitude for listening to the Loli Jane Animal Communication and Healing Podcast. This is Loli Jane. This podcast was created, produced, and recorded, researched, and edited by Loli Jane and is the product of Loli Jane Animal Communication and Healing. That brings us to the end of the episode. If you enjoyed this amazing show,